Hurts takes the snap. He's back. He's going to run. He's in! Touchdown! Jalen Hurts! The Eagles are just devouring the Giants. And it is A.J. Brown again! Another touchdown!
Bring the Vegas gaming experience to the palm of your hand. Bet your favorite team, try your luck in the casino, or our poker room. The earliest sports lines and the biggest limits online. Lots of deposit options. Bet on live events as they happen. The next play, the next score. Get winnings fast or roll them into a parlay and win even more. Visit BetOnline today and see what millions of customers have experienced for over 20 years.
Welcome back to the Linc Lineup. It's been a minute since it's been me and Josh. It's been a minute since we recorded, so we're sorry about that. We got some things happening. I don't want to say behind the scenes because it's not really that serious, but a couple of things are happening. So it's taking up a lot of my time, and we're trying to figure stuff out. But the show must go on, so we are here. And then also, there's just not much to talk about right now. All the news kind of spread out, and it's hard to cover. Have one show dedicated to it. So we kind of have decided that spreading out the episodes is for the best, and hopefully we can get the Jeopardy game show stuff coming soon. But for now, we're here. We're going to talk about some moves that have happened here recently since the last time we recorded. And Josh, I don't think has been with us since late February. Things happen. We all been busy. But the reason why I bring that up is because, the Eagles had a big signing and we didn't get his reaction from it. We had two big signings, I would say. Three, probably, actually. So I just want to get your reactions off of them. So first, let's start with the big bad one, Saquon. How do you feel about Saquon coming to Philly? And are you excited, or are you kind of like cautious about it?
I honestly couldn't be more excited. I've been a big Saquon fan since he was when he first started playing for Penn State, and I was heartbroken when he went to the Giants. He's had a rough few years with injuries and playing, with that Giants team that really hasn't done him any favors. But I really think with our offense, our offensive line, the other weapons we have, he has every opportunity in the world to just go crazy. I think, it'll be easier for him to stay healthy. And I really think that he could end up being like our version of Christian McCaffrey for the Niners. Maybe not quite as prolific, but I mean, he has it in him. Like if everything goes right, he could be like our Christian McCaffrey, like even matching that production. I mean, he is about as talented of a running back as you're ever going to see in pretty much every facet of the game. He's a great pass blocker. He can catch out of the backfield. Obviously, he's a prolific runner. He has, the home run hitting ability, that top end speed, the ability to break tackles. I mean, there's really nothing he can't do well that I can think of. I'm sure there's stuff. Maybe I'm overhyping him. But yeah, I mean, he's one of the few running backs who has the opportunity to live up to that contract we gave him because we did pay him a lot. We're giving him a lot of money. Yep. But if he stays healthy, I think he's going to be worth it.
Definitely. And like me and Bryce have said, and what I really try to drive home for people that are doubting it, maybe saying that it's not a good signing. Just I want to repeat. I will be repeating myself. So, Saquon had a bad offensive line, and he still produced decent numbers. Why am I saying decent? They were good numbers. They were good numbers. Sometimes they're actually great. And now he's coming to a team that has a very good offensive line. It sucks that Jason Kelce won't be here for Saquon, but it's a great fit for Saquon. I feel like he still has some life. I know like the lifespan isn't long for running backs in the NFL, but I do think he's a little different. He's a bigger back, more physical. the most, and I just he's just like a rare breed, I would say. Um, so I don't hate it. I never hated it. I was excited. He's somebody that I've wanted. Um, I wanted him whenever, of course, he got drafted, but um, didn't happen. Now we got him, and I'm excited to see what will happen going forward. I'm not going to get his jersey because I'm not getting running back's jersey. It's something that I have told myself I wouldn't do. Especially seeing Bryce get a Miles Sanders jersey, and then he just recently got a DeAndre Swift jersey. Uh, they just don't last long, but he's here for 2 years for sure. And that third year is basically like an option. And if he gets that third year, he's going to restructure anyway. So, he's here for two years for sure. And hopefully it's good ones. Hopefully it's good ones. I do think that he moves the needle more than people are giving him credit for when it comes to the offense as a whole. I think that the Eagles have on paper right now um, probably definitely the top three as far as offenses go. And then the draft could push them even further, especially if they get a playmaking wide receiver in the first couple rounds. But we'll move on. We're not going to go to Bryce Huff just yet because, spoiler alert, there's going to be a segue. But we got CJ GJ back. As I said before, I'm happy he's back. He brings an edge to the team that I think we desperately need. I think the saying of you don't know what you have until it's gone, definitely. It happened last year. We saw it. This team just wasn't fierce or felt like they weren't violent. They weren't anything. They just seem to go with emotions sometimes, and that people are going to blame Jalen Hurts for it, just because they look like the way he sits on the sideline. Like they play like his emotions are. Just kind of relaxed, calm, cool, collected. And I think on defense you can't have that. And I think with CJ GJ you get that fiery leader, emotional leader that you desperately need. So I'm happy to have him back, and I'm assuming you are too.
Yeah, I'm absolutely happy to have him back. Um, he definitely brings a needed element to our defense, aside from the fact that he is just a good safety. Kind of like what you mentioned, just kind of having that, I would almost say like an X factor, like an edge. He's somebody that the offense, receivers and running backs like they have to know where he is because if they don't, he's going to take their head off. And we really didn't have a guy like that last year. Really, anywhere on our defense, like maybe. No, I mean, I don't really think so. It's hard for a defensive lineman to be like that. Definitely none of our linebackers. And we didn't really have any hard hitting secondary players. And, I mean, obviously being a big hitter is not the end all be all, but just to have that element added to your defense is, it's nice to have. And yeah, I mean, especially I love the trash talking. I love the edge. Yeah, we definitely sorely missed that last year. He brings like a swagger to the defense. And I feel like you need a guy like that. We have plenty of guys who are cool, calm, and collected, like you said, like Jalen Hurts. But to have that guy who's a little more fiery, and I think has the ability to like get the other guys pumped up, especially on defense. I think that's a great element to have. I'm interested to see how he does coming back from pretty injury riddled year last season, but he's still pretty young, and so I think he has it in him to come back. I think he's happy to be back in Philly. I wish we had kept him the whole time. I think last season would have been a lot different if we had him, but can't change the past, and I think it's going to be a good tenure with him.
Yep. Like I said maybe last week. Can't remember when's the last time I recorded with Bryce, but I do remember seeing that people use the term injury prone. For him, whenever he played for us, he had a lacerated kidney. That's a freak accident. He ran into a receiver, and next thing you know, his kidney just bursted. And then last year he had a torn pec, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something that I would say, goes under the injury prone tag. I would say like hamstring issues, you know, stuff like that would be the ones to worry about, or just multiple torn ACLs. That's just bad luck, but that happens. But he's not injury prone. I'm glad to have him back. You know, he kind of reminds me in a weird way of Malcolm Jenkins. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that. Not necessarily because they play or like they lead the same, because Malcolm is definitely more of a he's more of like a I don't know how to say this. He's not like trash talking like leadership. He's not like he's very like by the book, I guess. I
Yeah,
guess
like
you would
more of a
call it.
traditional leader, kind of.
Yeah, I couldn't think of that word. Whereas CJGJ is loud and some would call it obnoxious, and that works. It works. They're similar because they both were slot corners at one point. I don't know if Malcolm was a slot corner, but they're both corners at one point. Transitioned to safety, and it seems like they're having more success at safety than they were at cornerback. They both are very versatile, and both of them were needed in both Super Bowl runs that we've had in the past, couple of years. Obviously, one won, and then the other one didn't. But I do think that we have a chance, and he could be a big part of it. So I'm glad to have him back. And
Yeah, absolutely.
like you said, you are
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, definitely. And yeah, we definitely needed the safety help, and I think it'll help. Even though we're gonna have a different defensive system, just him still having that some of that familiarity with just the team itself, and just like I feel like he has a better chance to hit the ground running than if we brought in somebody who obviously has never been with the team, never been with any of the players, anything like that.
Yep. Then there we are, Bryce Huff. We signed him. Can't remember what the deal was. I think it was 3 years, like 50 million, something like that.
Yeah, like 45 or 50, something like that.
Yeah. Highest ever undrafted free agent contract in the history of the
Yeah,
NFL. Pretty exciting for him. I'm excited to have him. And then on paper, thought about it for a second. Haason Reddick, Josh Sweat, Bryce Huff. Good. And then, of course, the rumors were Josh Sweat and or Haason Reddick would be traded. And then Josh Sweat got extended or restructured. I can't remember which one it was. And then there was word that the Eagles moved Haason Reddick's contract bonus to April 1st, and then they traded him away a couple days later. Um, which sucks. That sucks. But let's start with Bryce Huff. How do you feel about the signing? Are you looking forward to him?
yeah, I actually really like Bryce Huff. He's not great against the run, but he plays like he's got I don't know how to describe it.
Some people have described it as he's playing like what was it like
like flames shooting out of his ass.
yeah, like that, yeah.
Yeah, and I love that. He was, yeah, I mean, he was more of a pass rush specialist in uh for the Jets, and he still had a 10 sack year. I mean, playing limited snap, not limited snaps, but like not being a 3 down player.
Situational, yeah.
Yeah, situational. And obviously with the Eagles, the way we rotate our defensive line, it might be a similar. But I'm excited to see how he does. I think he's going to be really good. I think he will, he'll be a good addition to our line, and he might benefit from from some of the other guys we have around him, especially if some of our defensive tackles like Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter develop the way we hope. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good signing. Um, and if we were going to move on from, I mean, I don't know how committed we were at the beginning of the offseason to moving on from either Josh Sweat or Haason Reddick, but he's a passable replacement for now, and he has the potential to be a great replacement. I think he definitely has the potential to hit the teens in sacks, and I think he might be a better fit for Vic Fangio's system. So, obviously, in a vacuum, I wouldn't trade Haason Reddick for Bryce Huff, but given the extra, everything else in the contract status of both of them and the kind of money that Hassan's going to want, I'm happy to have Bryce off. I'm glad that we made that signing regardless.
Yeah, it's nice that we have somebody to replace him, air quotes. And like you said, I don't know. We don't know how committed they were. There was rumbles that they were upset with Josh Sweat and Haason Reddick. We've joked about the chasing sacks line that was released. Whereas you can look at it as like ha ha ha, like he's chasing sacks because that's his job. But there's also the real meaning behind it is he wasn't playing. He wasn't committed to like rush lanes, and that's why a lot of times you saw the edge just be wide open for a running back, and sometimes even the quarterback to scramble out outside the pocket. So they were frustrated with that, and there's also I saw a report like after the playoffs, they were upset with both of them. Josh Sweat after the game was visibly like irritated and stuff. So I know that they're upset. And then there's a report that just came out this week that Haason Reddick was unhappy with what his role was going to be in Vic Fangio's system. I don't know how true that is, but I do know that he doesn't. I'm sure he doesn't want to be in pass coverage. I know that.
Yeah.
And so this system is going to require him to drop back a couple times. This always been Vic Fangio's style, and if you want sacks, you don't want to do that. So I hate it. I hate that he's gone. He was one of my favorite players. Seeing number 7 come in clutch sometimes to get a sack, just to end games. It's going to hurt to watch him do well with New York. But hopefully Bryce Huff can come in, and I'm sure he's heard the rumbles of, oh, he's just a pass rush guy. He can't run. He can't stop the rush. Prove us wrong. Like I said, I've seen some of his film. I don't think he's had the opportunities to defend the rush. But he'll get the opportunity here because they're not going to pay him $50-something million to just rush the passer.
Yeah.
And then it'll be interesting to see if his if he gets tired down the stretch of the season, because he's never played the amount of snaps he's going to play for us. So that'd be something interesting to look at. But let's talk about what we got for Haason. At first, I hated it.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, Aaron Rodgers won't be, hopefully. Now we're saying hopefully he won't be with the Jets during that season. 2025, I believe, will be the season that it counts. He won't be there. He'll probably be retired. And if he is there, he's probably going to be a shell of his former self. I think he's 41 now, or 40.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, we saw Tom Brady. He just fell off a cliff that last year. But the Jets aren't in position to feel like be great. The backup quarterback options aren't great either. I don't see them drafting a quarterback this year. They might draft one next year. So a rookie quarterback for the Jets 2025 season. We could have a high draft pick. What's the condition? It's like he has to get 10 sacks next year and then play 60-something% of the snaps.
Yeah, it's like 60 and 67 and a half.
Which, spoiler alert, he will play. Spoiler alert, he'll probably get 10 sacks. So that could be a high second round pick in 2026. Obviously, you wish it was this year's draft or hell, even next year's draft, but it makes sense. So I hated it. Didn't like it. I've came around to it. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I figured I don't know what I expected we were going to get in return for him. We weren't going to get a first. And, typically future picks have less value than current picks. Which makes sense, but I think a lot of that is because so many teams feel like they're just so, or GMs, I should say, are so crunched for time or like fighting for their job every year. So it hurts them to think long term sometimes. But thankfully, with Philly, we don't really have that issue. We're okay with kicking the can down the road if it gives us better value overall. So, honestly, I'd rather the pick be 2026 than, next season, for example. So, I think the Jets are going to have a great year. But like you said, there's a stronger chance that in 2026 they take a step back, especially if Rodgers, starts to show his age. Who knows? We might even take a step back this year with the coming off the Achilles tear.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll see. Again, I don't love it, but I also didn't want to pay Haason the kind of money that he was going to be looking for because that would limit us in other areas. Like I know we just re-signed or extended Jordan Mailata today. We still have to, we just extended Landon Dickerson. We still have to extend Devonta Smith. And giving Haason Reddick, top 5 edge type money like he's looking for would hamstring us in a lot of ways. Howie does a great job with the cap, and he did a fantastic job with Jalen Hurts extension, which gives us a lot more flexibility than a lot of teams have with big quarterback contracts. But we're at the stage with this team where every dollar really counts because we do have so many players with big contracts or with big money coming up soon that we got to be careful. I mean, if Haason Reddick making $30 million plus a year, that could be like 2 or even 3 elite players at other positions. So, would I rather have Haason Reddick for 30 million or, for example, say like Bryce Huff for 17? Let's say we sign Justin Simmons for 12 and a second round pick. I mean, I'd probably rather have Huff, Simmons in the second. It's just has a better chance of being more value. Just spreading it out a little more. So, I mean, I don't love the trade. I would have liked to keep Reddick, but I totally understand it, and I think it makes sense from a team building perspective.
Yeah. You mentioned Devontae Smith. There's a lot of people that are already freaking out because we haven't extended him yet. The Eagles are going to take their time. They're going to take their time. If I had to predict, I would predict that he gets signed in the middle of the football season next year. They're not in a rush. He's going to come back. They're going to sign him. Chances are he's probably going to play his whole career here, which we hope. So don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Trust Howie. And what's funny is also you mentioned to kick the can down the road. Everybody sees these big contracts now, and they're like, "Oh my God, you paid him that much?" Yeah, but the cap hit is just spread across 25 years. It's not really, but
Yeah.
it's spread. And then best part is like, well, it's going to catch up to you. Nope, because we're going to kick it even further down the road. It's just a game of kicking the can down the road, and the salary cap. Fun fact, isn't real. It's a thing. It's just a myth. It's there, but it's not. It's not really there. But you made a good point. He wanted top DN edge rusher money, and he's 30 years old. Which is still in his prime, but at some point there's a chance that he could fall off in the middle of that contract, and you'd hate for that to happen. Meanwhile, Bryce Huff is 4 years younger than him. It makes sense to me. It sucks. That's the business side of football. My favorite part is, Caitlin. She got into the Eagles. We started dating 3 years ago, and so like some of these players that are leaving. She's growing attached to, like Jason Kelsey. Like
Yeah.
that sucks. Fletcher Cox, that was sad. Haason Reddick, that's sad. Now she's like, oh, this sucks. I'm like, yeah, they don't stay forever. We wish they would, but they never do. And it's tough. It's a tough part about sports. Some of your favorite athletes will go at some point. I mean, like Boston Scott, she's tore up about Boston. I am too. I wish he'd come back, but I don't think I'll be surprised if he honestly gets a contract with the way he's talking. Um, but it's tough. Sports is a cruel world for a fan and for the players. But life goes on. We still got Jalen. We still got AJ. We got Devontae. We got CJ, GJ back. Uh, we still got Josh Sweat. If you're into that, we got Darius. So if you like him, we got plenty of players that you still know and love. And then the young group of guys like Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Keely Ringo's there.
Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith, I don't know why I forgot about him. I mean, we still got Jordan Mailata, we still got Lane. Lane's going to be a tough one when he goes.
That's
But
coming up. Yeah, that's
we
gonna
got
be real tough.
we got players still that you can fall in love with. But it does suck. But Haason, we'll miss you, man. Good luck in New York. Don't fuck us up if we play. That's all we ask. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about, but I cannot remember for the life of me what it was. Think. Nope, drawing a blank. We were talking about something, and something clicked in my head. Talking about defense, offense. I got nothing. I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, that should be the show, I guess, unless I can think of the thing in the next 20 seconds.
Was it Devontae Maddox coming back?
Oh, thank you. That it wasn't about him specifically, but it was about I guess about him. Yeah. So we got Avonte Maddox back. You mentioned that we signed Reed. Jordan Mailata got extended. I don't care too much about Avonte. I really don't. Hopefully he goes back to what he was. But if there is a bet, a futures bet on if Avonte Maddox will get injured, you know where I'm going. I hate saying it. Probably cruel, but you know where money's going. Reed, I don't know. I don't know about Reed. Went to last year, super pumped about Reed. Thinking he's gonna make a big step. He had some moments last year, but then he had some moments that were like, "What are you doing?" And now we have CJ, and Sidney Brown just waiting. So
Yeah, I'm still holding out hope we might make another big safety signing, but we'll see.
hopefully, maybe. I don't know.
Still rumors about Justin Simmons.
It's crazy that he hasn't signed yet.
Yeah, right.
I just remembered what I was actually wanting to talk about. But before that happens, like I said, Jordan Mailata, great that we have him.
Yeah.
Great story. Definitely one of the more consistent pass blockers in the NFL. He's not super elite by any means, but I would say he has elite traits, and he's still getting better by the day. So glad to have him around. I don't know if I talked about this last podcast. I don't know if the news was happening yet, but Quez Watkins is gone. Quez Watkins is gone. He is no longer an Eagle. He will not be back as an Eagle. He is, however, on the complete opposite side of Pennsylvania with the Steelers. I think I might say it last week because I remember that, but the meme of the breaking the chains, it's never been more relevant than it is now. That's what I'm feeling. Thank God he's gone. We would have definitely beat the Chiefs if he would have caught that ball. Honestly, you put any other NFL wide receiver there, even Chase Claypool, I think he would have caught it. That's how low I think of Quez. I'm glad he's gone. Boo you. You had so much potential, bud, and your ass. Anything you want to say to Quez before we wrap this show up?
Yeah, don't let the door hit you.
Exactly. You can keep all the gear too. You can keep it.
Yeah.
Just don't come back. But yeah, I think that's the show. Yeah, yeah. Great request.
Yeah.
But that being said, that's the show. Like I said, sorry we're taking so long between episodes. It's just one of those things where like it's tough to talk about um stuff for a whole 30, 40 minutes, especially when nothing's really happening. And when it does happen, it's usually not enough to really, go off of. So we're trying. It's a long off season. But this is probably the lowest point of the season for us. Once the draft happens, they're going to have rookie mini camps or whatever it's called, and then we'll get in the training camp and preseason, and the regular season will be here. So we'll have plenty to talk about. And one last thing I want to say is it sucks that Fox Media uh, laid off all of the SB Nation podcasts because I listened to a lot of them. Like some of the stuff I mentioned on here was on the Shane page. They're one of my favorite shows to listen to. They're gone, but they're hopefully they come back. The NFC East mixtape is gone. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Because you had a great product and just cut everybody off. So we'll try to fill that void for you, but we got to be more consistent. But like I said last week, coming up, we're going to do our live draft show. Should be fun. We'll have giveaways. We'll cover day 1, day 2, and probably a quarter of day 3. No promises on day 3. Day three's rough. I guess where it gets really gritty, and I don't know if I have it in me.
Got to do a lot of googling on day 3.
Day 3 will be Google. After that 5th round, they're in the 5th rounds. It's gonna be some who is this guy? I'm gonna do some research, read some scouting reports. But I'm excited for it. We'll be doing that. Hope you guys join us. Be on Twitch, YouTube, and we'll be on X, so you can watch from there. Yeah, we'll do some giveaways. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
fun. But yeah, till next time. Maybe something will happen this week. Maybe we'll have a big signing we can talk about. But if you haven't already, follow the show at the Linc Lineup on X. Follow Josh at the Pre2. Follow Chase me at Cardiac Chase. Don't follow Bryce because Bryce isn't here. He doesn't get that privilege. Follow us on all the socials at the Linc Lineup. Haven't posted anything on TikTok in forever. That's on me. It happens. But if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend if you like the show. If you don't like the show, just act like you didn't see it. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, whatever it is that you listen on, like us, subscribe to us, follow us, give us a rating. Give us a good rating. Don't like us, don't touch that rating button. Don't touch it. Seriously, leave it alone.
leave a comment though. Tell us what you don't like.
Yeah, but give us 5 stars. Give us 5 stars.
Yeah.
And then leave your cash app,
and then we'll do it.
I'll send you $5 for not giving us a bad review.
Do that.
Yeah. But that'll do it. It was fun. I am definitely rusty because we used to record twice, sometimes 3 times. I was in my podcasting bag, and now that's rough. Get back into it though. But thank you guys for listening as always. Until next time, go Birds.
Go Birds. Oh, wait, one quick thing. Because I know like you said, it's a slow time in the off season. So, a lot of times if something small happens, it's not enough to do a full podcast. If you guys would like to see like some shorter form podcast, even like 10 or 15 minutes just to talk about like 1 or 2 quick topics, let us know. Because I'm down to do it. So if you guys would like that, no reason why we couldn't.
Yeah, we could do like a little bit emergency pods for moves, but let us know. But until next time, go Birds.
Go Birds.